My best Lorcana cards, let's count them down. Alright, we got a little bit different episode for y'all today. I promised in the last episode, or at least the last pack opening episode, that the content this week was going to be a little bit different, and today's episode is just that. I cannot tell y'all the last time that I did any type of top 5, top 10, all my enchanteds, any type of video like that. I can't even tell you the last time I did a video where I was like, here are the new cards I picked up. Like, all I can remember is this foggy haze of opening up this new set that everybody's addicted to, looking for enchanteds and iconics, and I can't seem to pull any of them, and I just dig myself into this massive hole. But that's okay, because that's what this week is for. This week is to do a little bit of a switch up, right? Get us back to neutral and continue to have fun, because we are having fun doing it. Honestly, I'm just venting. But what we're going to do in today's episode is we're going to show you my top 12 cards in Lorcana. There's a very specific reason that I chose 12. I was debating like how many I was going to show you all today. I have some stats behind it. I've got some interesting nuggets. I want to talk to you all a little bit about it. But at least we get to take a little bit of a peek into the collection. I feel like we don't get to do that very much, right? So we're going to do that today. But before we do that, we are going to open up 5 packs of Fabled, and we're going to warm up. Okay, now the reason why we are going to do this is simply put because we just want to keep taking shots on goal. I did promise we were going to get away from it. However, in honor of doing something different that we haven't done in a while, I will say how many times have I said to y'all like, oh, we're going to warm up with 5 packs of X or 5 packs of Y or whatever. Like, I feel like I haven't done a warm up in a while, so we're going to warm up. You know, I'm not expecting anything. Yeah, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna feel. We're gonna feel the cards here. We're gonna get ourselves loose here, and we're gonna see if we can make a memory happen. That's what we're gonna do, and we can do this. I know we can, and that's okay if we don't. If we don't, that's okay. It's not the point of the episode. It's really not. Honestly, the other thing is imagine I pull something. Like, I'd have to rebrand the whole episode. I'm really all in on this like top cards, you know, kind of vibe. What up? There we go, Max Scoop. This is already a good warm-up. This is already great vibes in the warm-up. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. I know we are. We are right there. I know we are. We can do this. Doesn't need to be today. Doesn't need to be today. But we're inching closer. Let's see what we can do here behind Max. We have, ooh, Huey. Very nice. Good pack there. I will say, I'm feeling warm. Like it's having the desired effect. I mean, that it is doing just that. Let's see if we can keep it going. Let's see if we can make it happen. Let's see what we can do. All right, here we go. I'll tell you what, the warm-ups though, I do feel like I have to try to enjoy them a little bit more, because I do feel like every time I go through a warm-up, it's over before it even starts. Ooh, starting out with a super aerial, that's dope. Going into Mini Sweetheart. There we go. I just talked about this last episode that I'm like, I don't see her as much as I would like. And now here she is in back-to-back. That's awesome. Oh, whoa, wait a sec. I pulled him crazy. Really weird warm-up. Like, in the best possible way. Spoiler alert, I just pulled this in the last episode. Wild. Absolutely wild. Look at that, man. I don't even know what to make of that. That's crazy. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Is there one more little tidbit, little morsel for us in this warm up? Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can find. I feel like the Moana Voyager card. I feel like I've seen that card like a lot. I don't know why my eye keeps going towards that, but I feel like I've seen so much of that card. I don't know why. All right, into Huey, oh, there we go, Max Goof, nice, very good. Actually, why do I feel like that card is played? I'm gonna have to double check and see if that card's worth something. I feel like it might be. All right, anyway, last pack of the warm-up. It's been a good warm-up. It's been a really good warm-up. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling warm. I'm feeling loose. I hope you are too, because we got more to do after this. All right, here we go. Mickey, into Pegasus, Aurora, Rose Lantern, Tuck, Sign Contract, Smash, Maui, into Peter Pan's Shadow, and it is Mob Squad. Really, really, really solid warm-up. Now let's get into talking about the top 12 cards that I brought here to show you all today. So, a couple of callouts. I was trying to dig up and like kind of do my own little like homework and math on things that I thought you might be interested in. So, The reason why we're doing 12 cards is because I just felt like started from the bottom and going up to the top, I feel like there's a good story to tell behind each one of these cards that at least is interesting. There might be a couple in the middle that they kind of just are what they are, but I did want to start with 12. Interesting to call out, honorable mention, and shocked that this card is now no longer like even kind of cracking. Like, look, like this could have been a top 10 video, but it's a top 12 video. Very interesting. Calling out a card you are not going to see in this episode is going to be Bell Strange but Special. That is kind of that was a shock to me as I was going through, because obviously a lot of these prices I'm like, I don't know where these cards are at right now. To be honest with you, a little surprised at where they were at from like a perspective of they're lower. Some of them are lower than what I thought. That kind of does make sense with what's going on with Fabled right now, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, Bell Strange but Special didn't make the list, not in the top 12, but I can see that, right? Even though it's a first chapter Enchanted, you also have the Bell Mechanic Extraordinaire from Arcasia's Island. You have the Bell Accomplished Mystic, which is now the #1 Bell Enchanted in all of Lorcana, which is wild that Enchanted is beating out a first chapter Enchanted Princess. Enchanted Princess. That's absolutely insane. But anyway, interesting that card didn't make the list. And then the last stat that I thought would be interesting, just from a collector's perspective, I'm sure at some point we will do some sort of like huge collection video where I show like not only my cards but my sealed product and all these other like weird things that I have, because I collect a lot of weird stuff. Like, the stuff that's not the cards is actually also just as interesting to me. But anyway, last stat. Number of enchanted rares in the collection to date is 91. We have 91 enchanted rares, so we are closing in on the century mark. Hopefully we can do that in as few sets as possible so that we can say that we're on a hot streak. Obviously not nearly all of them pulled. I mean, honestly, probably like a third of them were pulled at best, but no, cool to see the collection grow. Anyway, let's get right into the cards. All of these are in sleeves. I took them out of their one touches, but I don't have the guts to take them out of the sleeve. I just don't, especially as we start working our way up the list. So, starting off with number 12 is going to be the Stitch Rockstar Enchanted promo from the set championship. So, with this card, I mean, the biggest thing that I would call out is that there's a massive delta going on right now with this card as it compares to like this card being what it is raw versus like PSA 10. Such a difficult card to grade. As y'all know from my collectors out there who've been in the Lorcana game for, like my day ones out there, you would know that obviously the set championship promos, especially in the very beginning, and I don't know, they might not have done this much better, to this point, but like, especially in the beginning, I mean, these were packaged really poorly. So to be able to get a 10 brings about that like super premium, like not just like a 2-3x premium, like you're talking about like a 5-6x premium on it. I mean, I think I saw the latest 10 going for like $800-900, which compared to the price you just saw pop up on screen, pretty stark when you think about it. I do think that, I did mention that when I did purchase this, obviously we did a video on it. I did mention that I thought that this is a very good copy. Obviously everybody says that. I try to scrutinize as hard as I can. I'm going to be honest with you. I would have bought it regardless, because I doubt I'll ever grade it. It's probably going to go into my binder. It's obviously been in my binder. You've seen that in other episodes, but yeah, I mean, I think one day maybe it's possible, but who knows? Dare to dream, right? It's probably, probably a 9. It's all good. Anyway, moving on up to number 11, which is going to be Mufasa, Ruler of Pride Rock. Probably my favorite enchanted artwork. I mean, the red and the blue, I mean, it's just an absolute vibe. Card absolutely beams, just absolute gorgeous perfection. RIP James Earl Jones. Not saying that that's why this card is so expensive. The artwork speaks for itself, but it can't really hurt when you think of like a specific like folklore, perspective, things like that. Obviously, I've been very outspoken, Lion King. I'm a 90s kid, so I mean, that's obviously my childhood. So yeah, Mufasa, beautiful to see it. Going into number 10, and this one's going to be a little bit of a surprise for some of y'all to see, especially who follow the other episodes and have watched me struggle to rip Fabled. But we do have Lilo, the best explorer ever enchanted rare from Fabled. I want to say right now this is the third most expensive enchanted. Obviously you have the two iconics that are setting the market, setting the pace there from market perspective, but then you have what you have the Dumbo, the Hades, and I think at that point I think it's between Bell and Lilo. Maybe Bell's still got the Lilo, but got a good deal on the Lilo, so I picked it up, I grabbed it. I mean, I understand that from a rotation perspective, I am definitely buying high, but at the same time, you also got to think to yourself that, you know, I mean, rotation's going to be going on for whatever, another year or so now. So, I mean, I also am not 100% what they're doing from a print perspective with Fabled. So I'm okay picking up even the playable enchanteds from Fabled. Like, I'm okay with it. It's not something that I'm seeking out, but I'm okay with it if it needs to happen. That's fine. So super cool to have Lilo in the collection. I believe that's 2 Fabled enchanteds. Obviously, I didn't pull either of them. When I pull one of them, it will be on the channel. At this point, I am like exclusively opening Fabled on the channel. I'm not opening any more off the channel because I can't pull one and not have it be documented, especially after everything we've been through together. So we're into that. Now we're inside the top 10, and going into the top 10, number 9, we have Stitch Carefree Surfer. Honestly, I don't really have much to say about this card other than I'm just really happy to see that the first chapter is continuing to hold its weight. Really happy to see that Stitch is holding up. I mean, everybody loves Stitch. I mean, when you think about like the cards that seem to do really well in the Lorcana market, you think about cards like Elsa, really any Disney princess, but especially like outside of Elsa, like Stitch. Like Stitch seems to do really well. Elsa, Mickey, Stitch seem to do really well. That's kind of what I have to say on the Stitch. Very, very, very good card. I believe the Elsa, the Stitch, and one other card are kind of like continuing to like stay bolstered from first chapter perspective. We talked a little bit about that in the Market Watch episode. Y'all should go check that video out if you haven't seen it. It's good stuff. We have fun in there. We rap about all sorts of things in there. Anyway, moving into number 8. This is where we start to go on a little run of slabs. We have the PSA 10 Simba Returned King. Honestly, when I think about really any slab, like any PSA 10 from Lorcana perspective, what I'm noticing with the slabs is that, honestly, PSA 10 slabs for, especially like PSA, Beckett, things like that, really you're finding this floor at like 250, 300, like even the most, I don't want to say average, but even the most like not sought after enchanteds in PSA 10 are going for 250, 300. And I really just think that's because the market has kind of deemed some of those cards as like, we realize that down the road, these are very difficult to pull, and regardless of what the market thinks about them right now, down the road, it's a hard card to pull. You're gonna have a verified 10. You're gonna have to pay up for that. There's going to have to be a point of entry for that. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with those, because quite frankly, like the delta between like number 8, which you just saw, all the way down to like, I don't know, like 5, something like that, it really does start to kind of mash together a little bit for no other reason than that. So that's just my thought on it, but at the same time, like, obviously super happy to have that. I do have every single first chapter enchanted. Obviously, the next goal is to get all of them in PSA 10. Hopefully cards like the Carefree Surfer and stuff like that I still have that are raw, that I don't have as part of the PSA 10 collection for first chapter. Hopefully I can make that happen. I'm like 2/3 of the way through it. So obviously that's like a big goal of mine, and obviously that's something I want to be able to display in some sort of really cool way. So one day we'll make that happen. Going into, I believe, number 7, I hope I'm counting these correctly, is the Mickey Wayward Sorcerer. Same exact story. Again, this is where I think you're going to start to see the cards get pretty close in delta when you talk about price. Like they're probably just barely going up. But again, it was a good deal at the time, and I picked it up. Honestly, from 8 until about 4, something like that, it kind of is what it is. At the same, obviously that's, I wish I had more of a story, but at the same time, that's kind of what the first chapter enchanteds are. Obviously for myself, it was a big deal that I just kind of plucked off good deals as I found them. What I will say is every single one of these has appreciated at least slightly in price from when I purchased it, which is also really nice because they're all kind of taking a little bit of a dip right now. So I lost some of my appreciation, but it doesn't really matter because they'll be in my collection forever. Like these are just not things that I'm gonna sell. Like these will be with me until I'm in in a cane, walker, wheelchair, whatever, they'll be attached at the hip to me. So that at least that's the way I see it. Anyway, moving into number 6, same exact thing. Maui, Hero to All. This card actually was really popping off in price a while back before the rotation format. Might come back again once we get into like, I don't know, if Infinity starts to get a little bit bigger. Stuff like that. Like I do think that Maui could see a little bit more prominence. Obviously pre-rotation Maui was a very heavily played card, but now obviously it's, you know, it's gone. Might come back, never know. Might bring it back as a reprint in Whispers or Winter Spell, something like that. Never know. You know, it's very, very possible. So we shall see what happens there. Going into number 5, it is going to be now different from the first chapter. Going into Rise of the Floodborn, Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, PSA 10. This card, this is probably a slight L for me right now. Again, it doesn't matter, but it is just funny to kind of, not funny, but interesting to just kind of think through it, you know, and kind of just see how the card is like sort of trending. Pretty sure I got this for like, I don't know, $500. Like I could probably go back and think about it, like, or at least remember what I paid for it. I could probably find it somewhere in like, you know, in, I don't know, transaction history, something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was low 5s and it's probably going for about high 4s right now. Again, that's something that can change like on a weekly basis, but absolutely beautiful card. Might be the most, like, hot take, might be the most beautiful Disney Princess Enchanted that's in going in Lorcana right now. It's very possible. I think it's absolutely on the board. Like, that card absolutely beams. It's beautiful. And also low key, like, I kind of like the one cost inkable. It's kind of just swag. Like, the number in the top left of the, like, the ink, you know, the ink number on the top left, whether it's inkable, not inkable, and also like the number, it's kind of swag. Like, if you have one that's like 1, like, that's really cool. If you have something that's like Chernabog that's like 10, that's kind of cool too. Like, or 9, something like that. Like, that's kind of sweet. I'm excited to see the Maleficent Monsters Dragon, the set championship promo enchanted. That's like at whatever it is, at 8 or 9 cost. I honestly forget what that Ruby card is, but I think that would be pretty sweet to see. But yeah, anyway, going into number 4. Number 4. I'm pretty sure I'm on count. If I'm not, that's okay. It's all good. We'll understand. Number 4, last of sort of this run of first chapter slabs here, going into Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. This is one I wanted to lock in early on because I really do believe that the lore of this card, I really do think that this card has a very, very bright future. It's just such a unique card. They're doing so many different things from a reprint perspective with this card. You think about like the collector's set that's coming out for Fabled here, like the collector's binder that's got like the 4 packs. Tink Giant Fairy is going to be a promo in that. They absolutely love this card. They love this card. They love this character that they've created, this sort of like you know, metaverse, like alternate universe card, like, and it's a first chapter enchanted, and I totally respect it, love it. I mean, honestly, I do see this card continuing and consistently like rising with like a rising tide will rise all ships kind of thing. Absolutely, that totally holds true for this card. I just think it's a fantastic card. Obviously, great artwork. Both the cold foil and the enchanted, honestly. I actually feel like we see so much more of like the regular copy of the card. Like, you think about like the playmat view and like the promo that's going to be coming out and stuff like that. You don't see, like, the enchanted's just the one alternate art of the card. So it's very interesting. But all right, top 3 time, big boy time. This is where we start to take a significant jump in price. Obviously, all 3 of these are very wild in their own individual ways. Going into the first one, and as my OGs would know, my number 1 card in my entire collection, even though it's number 3, is going to be the Elsa Spirit of Winter raw copy that I have. I should keep track of how many times I tell this story, but there's always new people coming in. And I do like to tell this story because I do find it inspiring, because, to be honest with you, before this happened to me, I always kind of was a pretty big cynic when it came to stuff like this, but had, you know, this was a year and a half ago or so, my wife bought 10 first chapter packs from a store. She said, "You pick 3, I'll pick 3. We both opened them, and you know, in one of my packs was Elsa. This is before I even realized how good that card was. I was like, oh my gosh, I pulled an enchanted. That's so cool. This was like early days of me being in Lorcana, not really understanding that this is kind of the chosen one, you know, a little bit. So I always end the story by saying it can happen any place, anytime, anywhere. And don't forget it, because it is real. It is as real as it gets. It can happen. if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody, because I'm just a regular guy. So getting into the top two, and with this card, I did call out, I want to say in the Sunday episode, talked about how there'd be a little bit different content coming on the channel this week and things like that. And I even called out that there would be an Easter egg, something a little bit different, maybe a card that you haven't seen before, haven't expected. And that Easter egg is the card that is in my hand. And it is the Mickey Mouse Brave Little Prince iconic rare from Fabled. Let's get a few things out of the way. First of all, of course, I did not pull this card. I did buy this card. Like I said, at this point, there will not be any product of Fabled Rip that is not in this chair, staring at this camera, looking out to all of you. So, but at the same time, I will say the more I have tried to peel back the layers of what is going on with Fabled, the more I'm realizing that like this card, it might be the exception, not the rule, and it's very possible that this card isn't going anywhere in price. It might, and if it is, again, before you make a purchase like this, you always kind of double take, hesitate, and kind of just say like, okay, is what we're doing here, does it make sense for like what we're looking to accomplish, our goals, you know, our happiness, etc. Obviously, on the happiness perspective, it's 10 out of 10. But even if this card ends up going down and it ends up landing like below Elsa's Spirit of Winter, we'll live with it, because being able to get it in my hand now, especially as stuff like Whispers comes out, stuff like that, we potentially have FOMO'd in, and that is okay. But to hold this card in my hand is a very special thing, and does make me feel like I'm part of the ride, part of the journey. Super happy, super excited that I got to share this card in this moment, debut the card on the channel, show it to all you. Super excited about that. And that takes us into the number one card in my collection, and really probably the only retail card that can battle back Mickey BLP right now, and it is the Elsa Spirit of Winter PSA 10 from first chapter. So once again, I mean, honestly, like I am dead serious when I say if I had to sell one card between this and the raw one, I would sell this one. However, this here is obviously two things. It is a serious investment in my collection, but also in my main collection goal, which is to be able to get all of the first chapter enchantments in PSA 10. The school of thought that I always subscribe to is when you're looking to attack and go for a specific like goal of like more than what, like, I want to get these 5 cards, I want to get these 10 cards, I want to complete this whole set. It has always been my process that I buy the most expensive one first. Obviously, you don't want to FOMO in. Once you realize that the market is kind of settled, and from a broad market perspective, you have, you know, kind of what you need from like a data perspective to start buying stuff. That is when I start buying the most expensive and working my way on down, because as time goes on, again, if this card raises in price by a certain percentage, like 10%, I think right now this card's like $1,300, something like that. This card going up by 10% is $130, as opposed to $100 enchanted going up by 10% is just $10, right? So as the higher cards start to go up higher in price, harder to kind of continue to justify them, right? So super excited though to have this card in the collection. Obviously, we'll never leave the collection, and yeah, obviously looking forward to doing something special with this enchanted and my others, doing something, put him in the studio, something fun. I'll figure it out. But y'all, that's gonna do it for at least this edition of my top cards. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me also know in the comments what your collection goals are, what you're working on, just anything. Definitely want to interact with y'all in there. Also, make sure to get in the Discord. Link is down in the description. And until next time, we're eternally grateful for you all, and we'll see y'all on the other side. Peace out.